Together we're going to review what a ratio, a rate, and a unit rate is. So remember that unit rates and rates are ratios. They are a comparison of two quantities by division. So if I had something that was 20 to 5, I could write it as 20 over 5 in fraction form. The rate is slightly different in that the ratio is comparing two quantities by division with different units or labels. So notice that I've added 20 miles to 5 hours. So the fraction would be 20 miles over 5 hours. This is a rate because I have these label markers on them. This is a ratio because there is no unit label. So a unit rate then is different from a rate because we simplify it so the denominator is 1. So if I have 20 miles in every 5 hours, I put the denominator of 1 under my fraction, and then I think to myself, how would I move from 5 to 1? Well, I would divide by 5. And how would I get from 20 to 4? I'd divide by 5, because if I divide the bottom by 5, well, I have to do the same to the top. So 20 miles per 5 hours then can be simplified to 4 over 1. But then, remember, the last step with unit rate is to write what it means. And that means that we're going to travel 4 miles every hour or per hour. Remember, the 20 miles has been simplified to 4 miles, and the 5 hours was simplified to 1 hour. So let's take a look at our puzzle today. Make sure you have worksheet E8 in front of you. And our puzzle or riddle today is, why did the writer enjoy living in a basement? So we're going to do each exercise and find your answer over here on the right-hand side. Write the letter of the answer in the box containing the number of the exercise. If the answer has a dark shaded circle, then we're going to shade in the box instead of writing a letter in it. There's not a lot of room to solve these on this side of the sheet, so you may need to go ahead and flip your worksheet over to the back. So if we start off, it says we're going to write each ratio as a fraction in simplest form. So we're just making equivalent ratios. Let's try number 1. We have 7 to 12. So I'm going to write over here 7/12. Well, thinking about the factors of 7 and 12, none of them are the same except for the number 1. So 7/12 is already simplified. So I'm going to go over here and look for 7/12 up, and there it is, right there. So I'm going to put letter A in box 1 down below. Let's try number 4 over here. They said the ratio is 20 to 12. So 20 goes on top. And since these are both even numbers, I know I for sure can divide by 2. But I also know that I can divide by 4, and that's going to be my greatest common factor. So I'm going to use that. So my answer then is 5/3. So I look over here in the answer blanks, 5/3. Oh, 5/3 is shaded in. So I'm going to go down to box number 2 down here, box number 4, and I'm going to actually shade it in. And that means I'm probably going to have a space between my words here. So the only difference down here on 11, 12, 13, and 14 is simply that they're story problems and have bigger numbers. So if you need to, feel free to use a calculator. Let's take a look at the bottom. Here they want us to write the ratio of two measurements in the unit indicated. In other words, find the unit rate. So let's do number 15 together. A car traveled 300 miles on 15 gallons of gas. So they want us to find out how many miles per 1 gallon. So we're going to start off with 300 and put it over 15. And I want to know how many 1 gallon will, how how many miles I can go on 1 gallon. So I put the 1 at the bottom and I'm going to divide by 15 because I need to get from 15 to 1. So I'm going to do the same up here and divide by 15. And 15 goes into 32 times, and 15 goes into the 0 at the end 0 times. So it would be 20 miles per gallon. So I'm going to look for the answers over here. 20 is right here. Oh, it's another shaded box. So I'm going to go ahead and go to number 20 and fill it in. And then you're going to continue on for the rest of the worksheet. Be very careful that you're reading the directions and figuring out what they want to get for the unit right here. And remember, hint, 4 minutes is how many seconds? You have to change minutes to seconds. They want feet per seconds. So be very careful on number 20. Do your work on the back of the worksheet so that I can see your work to get your points on Monday. And remember, calculator is okay. Some of these numbers are kind of big. All right, let's review what you have for homework today. Practice always makes perfect. So you need to finish puzzle E8 that we just talked about here in this video. You need to remember to do your fix and finish for number 4 that you took today. Please catch up on any missing homework or IXL over the weekend. And if you have all of these done and you can show the sub your Skyward grade in math and you have 0 missing work, you can go ahead and play on Thinking Blocks Ratio app. It looks like this in the App Store. Have a good weekend and work hard. See you Monday.